Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. This is the Riese Panel. I'll just do a general introduction for everyone. My name is Ryan Koppel. I'm one of the creators of Riese.
I'm Kalina Kiff. I co-created Riese and directed the first 5 episodes.
Yay!
And Ryan.
Yay!
I'm Allison Mack. I act in the series. My name is Sharon and I play Amara. My name is Chatelin and I play Riese.
And I'm Craig Engler from Syfy. We pick up the series.
Yeah!
We get a lot of applause for writing checks.
We haven't checked yet.
It's in the mail.
So I don't know, how many people in the audience have actually seen Riese or heard of it? Oh, good. Awesome. Well, yeah, you guys know.
I only heard of it a few days ago.
Oh, perfect. Oh, wow. So Riese is a web series that we shot last year. It released around November of 2009 and was pulled down in January because it was picked up by our distributor, and then it was picked up by Syfy a couple months later. And so the premise of the story is it takes place in this sort of steampunk dystopian world, and it's about a princess named Riese, down there, on the run from a dangerous religious sect, called the Sect, ironically, and the evil empress Amara, who is Sharon. And so pretty much the story is, the fun thing with Riese is she travels with a wolf, and yes, it is a real wolf. And then the story is chronicling her journey as she's making her way across her kingdom as she fights to reclaim it. So we do have a trailer to show you. I don't know if there's a way to dim the lights.
There's Sect, and her character's named Marlies. So we have sort of a representative from all the different worlds here. What else is fun about our show? Do you guys ever watch web series? I know that's kind of a new thing. Hopefully it's something that's up your alley, because we have a blast making it. Ooh, look, stuff to sounds. You guys seem to like that. So I thought we could maybe ask these lovely ladies a few questions to get the ball rolling, but pretty much we're here to expose you guys to the show and take your questions. So okay, let's see. Allison, what drew you to the story?
Oh, you're
We're
I love sci-fi, solely because I think it's an opportunity to really mess with your imagination and take on any character you want in any world you want in any way you want. It's one of the things that I've loved most about my career thus far, is having the opportunity to really dive into my imagination, and it's kept me interested in my job for a very long time, because I'm not stuck playing the same day-to-day drama. It's always different, it's always exciting. So the opportunity to be involved with another sci-fi show was compelling and interesting and intriguing for me. As well as, working with Kalina Kiff is always like #1 on my list. So the fact that it was her show and she asked me to be a part of it was like, obviously. And then thirdly, I think the opportunity to play something so drastically different from everything that I've done previously in my career. Marlies is wicked. And I've only had a few opportunities to play someone that devilish. And so I think having that opportunity to do something like that, create a character like that, that really ends with a question mark. Sort of, we don't have a direction for her yet, and really being able to collaborate in creating that direction was something that was very appealing to me personally, and creatively and professionally. So those, I think, are the top 3.
Well, for me, in Vancouver, I'm sure you've noticed, a lot of the shows filmed in Vancouver are science fiction. So my resume seems to be mostly, all science fiction, which is fine, because it gives me an opportunity to play and be characters that I'm so not in real life. I mean, you all don't know me, but I'm actually pretty nice. And I get a chance to play with really bad women sometimes, and especially for Amara and Riese, she's not a very nice person. I get to explore sort of that darker side, to be mean to people, which I don't get to do in real life. The characters so interesting because she's a little bit badass, but at the same time she's still maintains her femininity, like with the costumes and the hair and such like that. Whereas on Smallville, when my character had her hair slicked back in a ponytail most of the episodes, I didn't get a chance to be very feminine, and so it's cool to be Mara, who I get to play that angle, and she gets to use her sexuality in that way. And with science fiction, I think especially fantasy is something that we all need. I think humans need escape from reality and realism, and I think it's important. And I think that's why fairy tales were written in the very beginning with the Grimm's fairy tales, and even though they're so dark and have similar dark themes like Riese, it appeals to us humans. Life is hard sometimes, so it's fun to escape. And that's, I think, what science fiction is for me, and probably for most people.
I feel like it's in Miss American Pie.
Top that.
The way that I want to change the world. If I had one way.
I just wanted to work with a wolf and wear a cape.
I can't even begin to tell you what a pain in the butt both of those things were for this poor woman. We love our wolf, we do, but always a diva. Really hard to work with. And the cape had to be sewn onto her lest it strangle her to death.
It was about 100 pounds.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's like one of those X-ray things you wear. It's like lead practically.
Yeah, and she has to do these incredible fights in them, and she'd had no fight training before this, so this girl, wow, she's had to deal with quite a bit here. Bravo to her. So, hi, do you guys have any questions? Oh, good.
How much of the show is shot on location?
100%.
Yeah, because it looks like, just from the trailer, it looks like most of it is outside.
Yeah, actually, we built within practical locations little rooms, but our first episodes we shot in an old glass factory, and so we adapted that to our needs. But it already came with beautiful production value. I mean, it was kind of dangerous. We didn't bring the wolf in there.
Yeah, and then
Since the show is a web show, like how? So I know for like hour-long dramas, location shooting can be more expensive than shooting inside a ship in a bottle. Like what was that for you? Like was the Syfy money for location stuff?
No,
or
we
was
actually shot it before Syfy came on board, so all the money was from us in the beginning and some private financing. But actually, it's more affordable in our case to go with location because if we'd had to build those sets, it would have been cost prohibitive. They're so beautiful. There's so much texture in them. We shot in a beautiful Art Deco church, and that was already built. We just, again, adapted it, built little walls or added returns so that there was a hallway. We shot in an insane asylum.
yes.
It's been in every sci-fi show ever, and
Yes.
hopefully we adapted it enough so that it became part of our kingdom, which is Elysia and the forest. But in general, it actually saved us quite a bit of money to do it that way.
Yeah, and one thing. Refresh.
No, you don't even have to do that. You can just rewatch it.
All of you actors, do you have to renegotiate your contracts if it goes to a TV show? Like if it gets picked up? Or like, do you already have a contract for like the rest of the series
No.
online?
Yeah.
So you guys would do it anyway? If it like
Scale. Throw that out.
It would be something that we'd have to talk about when and if the time came to talk about that. I'm sorry?
Where's my agent?
I refer all questions to
I mean,
agents.
obviously, like, I think that, the biggest constraint in life in general is time. And if I had all the time in the world, I would dedicate as much as I could to building and developing this world with the team, as I'm sure the other women on the panel would. So it just comes down to sort of time, place, and if it works for all of us. But again, I think, like I said when I first started speaking, one of the things that I was so excited about with respect to being a part of this project is the open-endedness of it. Because we're on the web, because we have such a collaborative, creative community that we've built together through this show and through other projects, we have the opportunity to design and build characters, worlds, opportunities, options that you don't really have in normal jobs as an actor. So that's very attractive and very appealing. And the idea of continuing to be a part of that in a more creative, collaborative sense is also very attractive and very appealing and very unique to this project. So.
These are all very good problems we could be having. So.
And we've gotten so lucky. I mean, the talent pool of sci-fi actors in Vancouver and non-sci-fi actors is so deep, and we're so blessed that all of them came out to play. But that's what we sold it to them as. Come out to play. What do you want to do? We will let you go to town. And I think that all of them got a lot more out of it because of that.
And good costumes.
Yeah.
Yes, great
Amazing.
costume. I mean, seriously.
Amazing looks.
Great
In fact,
promotional
I
photos.
have to say, for Halloween, we're all deciding, what will we be? We have all the costumes in our production office, so much.
I'm going as the wolf.
I think we should be Amara.
Yes.
Um,
Beautiful.
But yeah, we hope that if this does go to television, or if it does continue on the web, that we can continue to give actors a place to make the characters they want to be. Because it's a lot more fun when it's everybody's project and not just ours. I wish that we could rule with an iron fist, but it turns out it's not as fun.
Yeah.
I think something else that, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go.
I
By
don't
all
know.
means.
No, you're
No, okay, I was gonna speak to the new material, if it becomes a TV show. I had a sort of thought in my head when you said that. I think that one of the coolest things about the internet and web series is that you can create a multi-dimensional world and utilize many different forms of media as a way to execute a story. So you're not just executing one linear story as if you were watching a movie or reading a book, you're executing many, and it all leads back to the same concept. So you're able to create a world that is sustainable, multi-dimensional, multifaceted, and very layered that you can't really do if you just have a TV show, if you just have a movie, if you just have a book. So we're gonna start on the web, doing things on the web with that storyline and branch off onto the TV show in the hopes that they would work in tandem, right? That they would feed back and forth into each other. There's a game as well that's coming out that's also a part of the world that you can play. So it's incredibly interactive in that way too. So it's the new kind of generation, the new wave of media, and we're utilizing every different avenue we can to build the greatest world possible for the fans.
Yeah, we've been lucky. It's a little premature to say crafted. Everything that everyone wears is made literally from scratch by our costume designers. So we spent hours and hours doing it.
With
but-
a team.
Yeah, with a team. But it makes it. We wanted to be a very authentic world, and it wasn't anything we reproduced. So.
Yeah, and we hope with Syfy on board, and when we get to make more, hopefully, we get to bring in more of the steampunk elements, because at this point, it would have been cost prohibitive to do more than just costumes and a few set design pieces that were steampunk, but we're really hoping to infuse the whole show with that, because it's that aesthetic that really was the jumping off point for the whole story. But a funny story that Patrick Gilmore, who plays Trennan, is on Stargate Universe. He kept asking me, can't they just make me a onesie that they zip me into? Because he gets so mad at all the little different pieces that have to be put on it. And I think
I had
Christian,
18
Yeah.
pieces.
18
I could not dress myself.
Well, Patrick wore
Which isn't unusual.
my favorite part about Patrick's costume is he had to wear a horse bridle.
we whipped him.
Yeah.
Well, what was the, did you draw on an inspiration to create this, like from something else that you visually saw, like, I could do something a little better, or something that, because I will tell you my exposure to it was actually through a YouTube mix of Sanctuary and Riese. And I said, that actually looks really cool, what I saw. And then it was, I mean, literally it was like last week.
Oh, wow.
And I said, that really looks cool. I mean, it was really the production that they used from that really looked really good. So I was wondering what exactly was your inspiration?
Well, it's different because there's the story inspiration and then the visuals inspiration. So I'll let him speak to the story first.
Yeah, the story, it sort of came about where it started as a short film actually, and it was this little short about this woman who just travels into the city, and it started playing the idea of, it was like an idea of morality, and this sort of such a weird, abstracted world that it just took that sort of like a moral question to the very edge. And so when I approached Chatelin with it to direct, we decided actually to adapt it more into a series because we loved the characters so much and the world that we decided to actually make it all a huge world. There's a lot of like the traveling, especially is very much like a lot of those epic Lord of the Rings sort of mission. So there's that inspiration, but then there's also a bit more, there's more edginess to it. It's sort of like City of Lost Children, is where that kind of the little subtle hints of darkness come in, visually.
Yeah, that was certainly my inspiration visually when we went to actually turn that story into a series. The steampunk, we just immediately gravitated towards that world. It's almost, it's like music. There's dissonance in steampunk. It's so beautiful, but it hurts your eyes almost. It's so weird. And I think that with the broadening of our kingdom, it really needed that kind of grind and grit and metal to play with those ideas of moral ambiguity. We didn't want it to be a space battle show, which they're amazing, but it's not this world. This world, you want to feel like you can touch it. And there's something about anachronisms that make you feel like, I've been here before, I know this world, but I don't. And I think steampunk really lends itself to that.
Because there's never really been any steampunk, but it's not such
Yeah,
a
and I have to
big
be honest,
following.
we're really inspired by steampunk, but we're not purists. And I know a lot of steampunk enthusiasts get frustrated that we're not Victorian. And I fully take that on, but it's the aesthetic that really inspired us. And I hope that we can learn a lot from steampunk that we can infuse into this world.
This question is for Sharon and Allison. Having gotten to work together for Smallville and everything, how is it getting to work again together? At least knowing somebody that you worked with.
So, you know, Sharon and I worked together 3 times on 3 different projects, actually. The first project, do you want it? Sorry. Go.
Well,
Sorry. I got really excited. I was like, oh my God.
We had no scenes together on Smallville,
No.
and then
We didn't have
No.
one together.
and then just one scene together in Riese, and then we did have a short
One
film,
scene.
a short film that Clean actually directed, and Allison.
Funny story, tonight is the first time Christine and Allison actually met.
Yes.
As much as we shot, they were never
Yeah,
on the same days.
I think I only worked 1 day on Reese. I was in and out. Yeah. Maybe.
Is that prior to
It was quick.
is that prior to finishing the Smallville and everything?
No? Which part? The
What was film?
I guess recently you were saying we're in and out. Within
Oh,
one
she was
day.
there.
Was that
I was
prior
no,
to
I was
finishing?
working. No, I was still working on Smallville.
yeah, no offense, but she was kind of a pain in the ass together. Worth
Are you
every
still on
minute.
Smallville?
I have a few more episodes left.
Craig talk about what drew Syfy to Reese, or what
Craig.
This is a setup. I'm just saying. Well, we saw Reese when it first came out, and we're really impressed. Visually, it is unlike any web series you've ever seen. So you got a taste from it there, and it had a great story, and it has every actor who's ever been in a sci-fi show. There's people from Stargate, from Battlestar, from Sanctuary. So one of the things that we knew that we could do if we picked it up, we always look at these things as how you can make 1 and 1 make 3, right? So how can we take this thing that these guys have created that's so gorgeous, and what can we possibly bring to the table? We can bring a lot of promotion and distribution to them, and then a very little bit of funding to make some changes that they wanted to, and some well-intentioned suggestions that hopefully help at the end of the day. We like the story, we like the characters, we like the whole world that they built. We loved the way it looked. We actually had seen it, and it was doing very well on its own on YouTube, and then they got, it was, what's the name of the Fireworks?
Yeah.
And Fireworks represented it for you guys to us, and then they came to us and we said yes. And one of the things I think that's important to note is that we're developing this as a web series with an eye to doing more, but it's also being co-developed with potential for TV. So if it does very well online, we can take it into a pilot, and when we work on it, on the digital side on Syfy, but we also have a network executive who's working with us. Well, I guess we're all network executives, but the TV, someone on the TV side, Erica, who works on Sanctuary and Stargate as well. So I think what drew us to it is what you saw on the screen. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a great story, great acting. So what's not to love?
Yay.
How long did it take from the point where you had the concept to the point where you actually started filming?
I think we were in development ourselves for about a year. When we had the so we had that idea for short, and then it took about a year to really broaden the legs of everything, and really like expand the whole world. Thank you. So that it was, so that it had the legs to be able to go that far. So yeah, so it was about a year before we shot.
Yeah, between the two of us in my living room, in front of the fireplace, evening after evening, I'd say a year of that. And then once we brought our team on, who, I mean, they're so incredibly talented. They've been doing short films with us for years. And luckily they were loyal enough to stick it out with us for this. So we brought them on, I guess 6 months before we started shooting, we had our keys, and then really started getting the ball rolling about a year ago. So we've only been at this for 2 years, so we are so blessed that it's gone this fast.
They say that, but it's not like they woke up one morning 6 months ago and Syfy was knocking at their door. I mean, like, these people work harder than most people I know and are incredibly tenacious and passionate and ambitious. And I truly believe that this is an industry that honors people who put in hard work and are smart about the way they produce the things they believe in. So they're just getting what I think they've earned.